bumped, set, and swiped himself.
That is how you start a fire so that you can then go put it out. And like, I'm a hero, guys. I love it. It's beautifully done. And I think we all recognize that Deion Sanders is opportunistic, and right now I think his stock seems pretty high. He's turned around the Colorado program relatively quickly. His son is a hugely valuable college prospect. I think right now is a time where Deion Sanders, maybe you shouldn't be talking about it in front of his AD, but Deion Sanders, I'm sure, is considering.
Chess and checkers, baby. Say it in front of the AD.
Yeah.
Make sure the AD hears it.
Exactly.
Make sure all the boosters hear it. Everybody who's got checkbooks, Jerry hears it. All the NFL teams hear it. Make sure everybody in the land hears. I'm taking. I'm not really taking. But whatever opportunities out there, I will definitely listen. No, I think Deion's played it perfect. And the way that he has, whether it's Jackson State, Colorado, you name it, what he's done, he has put himself in this position, and good on him. I think he'd be a great fit in Dallas. I'm not sure if it works out, but he's positioned himself there nicely.
Kmart, I mean, you're obviously on the phone with people every single day. Does the NFL, the larger NFL, expect Deion to be in the NFL next year?
They expect him to. There's a lot of chatter around him and conversations involving him. Now, whether to Jeff's point, if it works out, that remains to be seen. I think when a word that we've used with Deion is culture builder, program builder. Mm-hmm. And when you look at a lot of these franchises right now, they are struggling to get it right, whether it's the head coach, the quarterback, or just even in Dallas, where you look at a team where it's like, do these guys have fight? Like, what is like, it just seems like, where's the physicality? Where's the attitude? This is our house. Like, that is what Deion brings. Instant credibility, a guy who played in the NFL and who has shown that he can handle the media spotlight and all that. So I expect him to get interest. It's a matter of how much, Colorado wants him to stay versus how much Deion wants to leave, I think.
I am so excited for an NFL-led Deion Sanders football team. And I'm not just saying that, because when you're coaching in the NFL, the hard part is, as a head coach, multiple players on the team make more money than you.
Sure.
Right? So it's not the pecking order that a college has where it's, hey, I'm the big dog, and if there's any discrepancies, you're gone before I'm gone. But Deion has such a respect. He has such a, hey, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I don't care who it is. That in an NFL locker room, I do think it will bode extremely well, and it'll be a new age way, because any room Deion goes into, he's the big dog. It's been that way for 30 to 40 years.
Okay, but let me say this about it. Deion, to me, so Dan Campbell was mocked and ridiculed the way he went into Detroit.
Yep.
But the way that he has built that team, that old school mentality, that's Deion Sanders. Don't let the flash fool you, bro. He is a stone cold killer. That dude understands. He wanted to embarrass his opponents. He wanted to show everybody he was the best in the world. He doesn't look at coaching any differently. This cat wants to get it wherever he goes. He wants to be the absolute best. That is no difference than DeMeco Ryans, the Dan Campbells of the world. And when you talk about culture, he's lived in a locker room and he has lived with the spotlight on him. And he has exceeded expectations at every point in position. That's why you want a guy like that walking in. He can find the right coaches. He can put the right people in the right spots. But at the end of the day, when you want credibility from players, he's earned it, man. And he is a different cat than most people walking in. I love it. I love the mentality.
Deion is a number of things, and what they add up to is right now the most interesting person in football, because he is not only a super high-profile candidate to become an NFL head coach. He is also the father of Shedeur Sanders, who is overwhelmingly likely to be the first quarterback drafted in the upcoming draft. And there is a lot of speculation out there. I assume if you're on social media, you're hearing it, about whether or not Deion would be in a position to try and guide where Shedeur winds up, which I firmly support. If you have the opportunity to guide, to choose where you wind up, or maybe to avoid a few places that you may wind up, then I think that is an outstanding thing. So,
fully capable.
I was going to say, I don't know. I feel like he could figure that out.
Fully capable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be the wet blanket. I would love to get on board and say he is fully capable. It's a possibility, and I agree with you, Greeny. We've seen so many quarterbacks have their careers ruined. So if you can control where you go to give yourself a chance, then you should absolutely be able to do it. The problem with it is, I think we talked about this earlier, in that, Eli Manning didn't want to go to one place.
Right.
He could have gone to any other place. The idea that you can pick one place and say that you're going to go there, I think it's a precedent that the NFL owners in general would make very difficult, because if they would believe that if Shedeur does this, then next year first round number one overall pick is going to say, I want to pick where I want to go. And I would love a future where that was a possibility, but I don't think that the NFL owners.
There's one easy way to do it. I mean, the Raiders could just trade for the number 1 pick. The Raiders are going to have a very high draft pick, most likely. We'll see where it winds up being. Shedeur Sanders, I mean, I do the First Draft podcast every week. He is projected to go in the top 5.
Right.
If you want to make sure you get him, then if you're the Raiders, you just trade with whoever has number 1 and you get the number 1 pick. And then this is the easiest. In that regard, it becomes pretty easy to do.
And then you hire his dad to be head coach.
That's what I'm saying.
Talking about all of this is just, I mean, Antonio Pierce is still there, but I do think that's something that we're discussing, that people are discussing, is them as a package deal, which is hard for me to figure out how I feel about, because it's never happened. It's just confusing.
I'm going to go on record and say I love Deion Sanders as the NFL head coach, my number 1 candidate. I love Shedeur Sanders as an NFL quarterback, my number 1 prospect. I don't want them together.
No chance.
I do not want to be in the locker room where the head coach and the quarterback are son and father. I can't say what I want to say in the locker room. There's going to be, this is grown men. That's a tough situation. I'm just talking from my own perspective.
100%.
Would not want that.
I had not thought of that, to be honest with you. That's interesting. Go ahead, Cameron.
From the Deion being able to guide Shedeur somewhere, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, what we're seeing so far in his career, every young Jets quarterback, every quarterback that's come through the Bears, this is the issue. Because a lot of these franchises ruin these kids, the early developmental years in the NFL, they ruin it. So if you have the power to do so, Deion Sanders it'd be crazy for him not to exercise that kind of power.
I agree with for sure.
I want to go back to what Hawk was talking about. So I understand what you're saying, but there's always somebody in the locker room that you can't talk in front of. This is not a new thing, but the trust between a coach and a quarterback.
Now, we're diving into Micah Parsons' fiery defense of our team after a brutal 5-game losing streak. Yes, it's been tough, but Parsons is here to remind us and the league that the Cowboys are still a damn good football team. So, stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's break it all down. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. The Cowboys' 3-7 record after a crushing 34-10 loss to the Texans. 5 straight losses. It hurts, doesn't it? But Micah Parsons isn't backing down. On his podcast, The Edge, he boldly stated, "We're a damn good football team." Do you agree with him, Cowboys Nation? Let me know in the comments. Here's a quick poll for you. Are the Cowboys still playoff contenders? Or is it time to focus on rebuilding? Drop your vote in the comments below. Parsons didn't just stop there. He broke it down for us, saying, "The scores don't show it, but this team has the talent. Sometimes you need to struggle to grow." And honestly, he's got a point. If you look at the defense, aside from a rough first quarter, they tightened up against Houston. It's just the offense that couldn't capitalize. What do you think? Is Parsons right to keep the faith? Let's discuss in the comments. It's been a rough year for the defense, no doubt. Allowing 29 points per game, we're ranked 2nd worst in the league. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially after being a top 5 defense just last year. Remember those glory days when Parsons was wrecking offenses and we were feared? What happened? Share your thoughts. What's the biggest issue with the defense this year? Here's a question for you. Do we need new defensive schemes, or is it all about missing players? Sound off below. But here's the good news. Cowboys fans, we've got a chance to stop the bleeding this weekend against the Commanders. Divisional matchups always bring out the best in us, right? What's your prediction for the game? Will Parsons and the defense bounce back, or will the offense continue to struggle? Let me know your score predictions in the comments below. If you're as passionate about the Cowboys as we are, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is super important to us. It helps us grow and reach our goal of 12,000 subscribers. So hit that button. Join the Cowboys News TV family and never miss a video. Cowboys Nation, we've been here before. Ups and downs are part of the journey. Let's stick together, the faith, and see what happens next. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!